Until the mid-19th century, the American West was an information vacuum. Information only moved as fast as a person on horseback, meaning military commanders on the frontier operated with almost no oversight from Washington. That isolation ended with the invention of the telegraph. In 1848, 6 New York newspapers formed a cooperative called the Associated Press to share the high cost of transmitting news over these new electric wires. This map shows how the Associated Press physically collapsed distance. What had been dozens of isolated local markets were now tied together by the iron wire, a massive single news-gathering network. The network made news instantaneous. In this environment, the ability to control a public narrative became a tool as powerful as traditional military authority. George Armstrong Custer was a polarizing figure who was frequently in trouble with his superiors.
A conservative Democrat, he was viewed with suspicion by the Republican administration, and his career was often at the mercy of political enemies, including President Ulysses S. Grant. His wife, Libbie Custer, provided the political astuteness George lacked. She was an ambitious partner who navigated the high society circles of Washington, D.C. to protect her husband's interests. The Custers realized that George's survival in the Army depended on bypassing the government and appealing directly to the public. They treated his military service as a joint public relations campaign. Together, they ran a bi-coastal operation. George created the headlines on the Dakota frontier, while Libbie managed their distribution in the East. Libbie immersed herself in the capital's social scene, lobbying powerful Republican senators to secure George's promotions. She worked to smooth over his social blunders and ensure his name remained respected in the halls of power. In the field, George leaked news of his own exploits to the press before filing official military reports. He even wrote articles for national magazines under the pseudonym Nomad, carefully shaping how the public perceived his actions. Custer's focus on the press even influenced how he managed his own officers. He famously promoted Captain Frederick Banteen, a man he despised, to the position of wing commander. Shortly before the promotion, Custer mentioned a meeting with Lawrence Gobright, a co-founder of the Associated Press. Custer pointedly told Banteen that Gobright was wonderfully interested in him, as the two men were cousins. Banteen later wrote that he saw the promotion as a calculated move to secure a powerful ally inside the AP. These maneuvers suggest the Custers were not managing a standard military unit. They were running a sophisticated media machine, optimized to gain national reach and political favor. The PR machine was fully deployed during the 1874 Black Hills expedition. Officially, Custer's column was searching for a site for a military fort in what is now South Dakota. Custer bypassed standard secrecy protocols by embedding newspaper reporters and civilian miners directly into the expedition. He ensured the findings would be broadcast to the nation immediately. When the prospectors found trace amounts of gold, Custer leaked a highly quotable message via Telegraph that there was gold from the grassroots down. The phrase went viral, sparking a massive gold rush. This flood of prospectors effectively forced the U.S. government into a conflict with the Lakota Nation to satisfy public demand for the land. By using the Telegraph to create media hype, Custer manufactured a geopolitical crisis that simultaneously cemented his status as a national celebrity. In 1876, that manufactured conflict ended in disaster at the Little Bighorn, where Custer and 5 companies of the 7th Cavalry were wiped out. The news of the defeat traveled by steamboat until it hit the telegraph wires. From there, the dispatch reached the East Coast almost instantly. The news arrived on July 4, 1876, just as the nation was celebrating its centennial in Philadelphia. There is a sharp irony that the same communications infrastructure Custer used to build his reputation broadcasted his ultimate failure to the world. After George's death, Libbie assumed total control of their media operation. She spent 57 years managing his legacy, using her political connections and best-selling books to recast a flawed officer as a national hero. Libbie's campaign was successful in part because of a total lack of photographic evidence from the battlefield. As this record notes, the 1876 campaign was intended to be fast-moving, and there was no room for the heady equipment required by 19th century photographers. Without visual evidence to contradict her, the public accepted Libbie's narrative. The Custers' most enduring contribution is the playbook they authored, using technology to engineer fame, shape